Gen X, so.
Well, you might be older than me.
I'm a baby boomer.
All right.
Truly, Mr. President.
Thank you for giving us time to work through stuff. Article 10 is vacation, holidays, vacation, sick leave. Sorry, buddy. Article 10 is holidays, vacation, sick leave. I appreciate y'all's willingness to listen to us talk about a kind of a late edition. We've had a group of people reach out to us about the inability here recently to get approved for vacation just because of our staffing issue that we have. And so we have basically just changed what was a deletion. If you guys remember, this entire paragraph was deleted. We've undeleted it and just changed, an effective date of January 1st, bumped up to both the vacation and the exception. There's not an expectation from our team to change the amount of hours that are paid out upon separation. It's literally just for those folks that are, especially assigned a patrol that are, for whatever reason, not able to burn, well, the reason is staffing, but not able to take their vacation, just not to penalize those folks that are still here, still showing up to work. We deleted the portion in there that has an expiration date just because we don't think that this problem is going to be one that's completely resolved during the life of this contract. I hope that I'm wrong, but and then the other part of that is, like on the exception vacation, it's only an increase of 40 hours, so it's not like over the life of the contract, that's a tremendous increase for a long period of time. And then you can see there's a 100-hour increase on vacation time. So that is that. And then that's old language at the bottom. So that is 10. Article 14, hiring process. We had worked through a bunch of stuff here. You guys had offered up a change, a new change in the modified hiring process in Part C that deals with the amount of pay that a modified or an officer that's hired under the modified hiring process may be paid upon graduation of the academy. Y'all's request was to move from 2 years of pay to 10-year pay rate. We accept that change with a caveat, which is a sentence that we added that says, in no circumstance shall a police officer hired through this process receive compensation at a pay rate in excess of their actual years of service. So our desire here is to allow the city to offer up that compensation for experience for folks that are coming over from the lateral process. We recognize the benefit that that'll give our recruiting department to go out and find good people from other places that would be good officers here in Austin. But it also kind of speaks to an equity issue that our team had a concern with if you had, we basically would have the possibility that someone could have 3-4 years of experience at a smaller agency, get offered a 10-year officer pay rate, making more money than a 9-year officer that's been with us for 9 years, right? So that is what we've added there. I still would like to have a conversation either at the table, offline, whatever makes sense, just about, is there a possibility that we could figure out how to deal with these other officers that have previously come on board through the modified process that that might also have, not might, that do have, potentially up to 10 years of experience. So put that out there, open to a conversation if we can kind of solve that issue. Article 19, assignment changes. Well, hell, I don't have it in this one, but I think we sent this to you. We would like to include after this first sworn application portal, the words "or successor" in function, just in case we have an issue where the sworn application portal it is not a thing anymore. If there's new technology that exists, there's a new process that.
We did receive the one with that language in
Okay,
it,
perfect.
so you're not,
Yeah.
we got it.
So that is a change, and we have a change in here just to, we appreciate y'all's willingness to have a committee and then to have the APA just give some input prior to submission to the chief for final approval.
So did you change that?
I don't know if we changed it today or if that was a previous change. I've got too many copies of.
Yeah, that's yours
From yesterday?
yesterday, and that's where we were prior to this.
Okay.
That was our proposal. And I think you had something similar, but you just modified it. That should be where we are positionally.
So the COA, the one in red,
That's what you sent us yesterday.
and you're okay with that?
That's up to the president.
As long as it has the APA language in there.
Yeah.
Then yes, we're
But
gonna.
it's got a couple of typos, but yeah, just, I wasn't quite sure because you still had your one from 111
Well,
there, and I didn't know if you were
That's
rejecting
an
that.
audible at the line.
So yes, we're gonna withdraw our contract language there that's in blue and move forward with that. All right, and 7. We are going to we're going to cut some money. This effectively moves from October start dates to January start dates, so there should be a little bit of savings there. We are maintaining a 4.5% in the first year. I think it's important for us to be able to dictate to our members the ability to say, hey, we got a little bit better than other city employees in this year. The second year stays at a 3, a 4, and an 8.5, moving through those years. Again, all with January start date. So, Mr. Gistel, I'm sorry to have to do some carryover math there, but it should save a little bit of money there. We have pulled out the longevity change. We have accepted y'all's proposal for the FTO pay. We appreciate y'all's movement on that. I think it's an important thing that we invest in our FTOs, make sure that we have the best and that we can have training our future officers. Mental health pay.
Go ahead, there you
Mental health pay, we very much understand that there's a desire, a move that's going to happen, right? We're moving that direction with the deletion of the TCOL mental health classes for whatever reason. So I assumed in y'all's presentation that was an October 1st, 2024 start date. So if that date needs to be different, y'all just let us know what that date needs to be, whatever that needs to look like. we've pulled our proposal for bilingual pay to move to percentage. Let's see,
Education,
education pay.
you know, the one change.
Yeah, the one change that we've verbally
Yeah.
talked about to include doctorate degree being paid at the same as master's. On shift diff, we appreciate y'all's willingness to make movement on a night shift differential. We'd like to see that bumped up to $400 a month. And something else.
Weather,
That's,
Yeah, severe weather. Go ahead.
the other thing was when you move up, you have those pays, you
Section
changed
11.
that date to January 1. I think you had October before that, so you moved on
Okay.
that one as well.
Are you talking about right here, the monthly paid compensation? Yeah. We had October before.
Correct.
but we didn't settle. So I just moved it to January.
No, I just,
There's only one of those, think I start in January, the other is a delayed on the night shift till 23.
To April, I believe.
Yeah, so,
Yeah. Yeah, it's y'all's language, just with a slight increase. On severe weather,
okay,
this-
wait. Can we go back to that?
To night shift?
No, to the time frame. Because the time frame is actually for everything in sections 2 through 10, so that would include shift differential. So if you were only intending to do that for one,
well,
that's not.
but it says that will be effective, through above will be effective, and I have one that's not on that date. It has a separate effective date.
Okay, gotcha.
You know, it's delayed.
I thought you meant the opposite, gotcha.
Yeah, okay.
Gotcha.
No. So if it's due at the start, that's when it'll get paid. If it's not due, it'll start on the date that
Gotcha.
it's effective. But if you need to clean it up, it's okay.
Understood.
On severe weather, this remains a point of contention every time that we have a severe weather event. If it was working well, we wouldn't continue to bring it up. I think this is the third or fourth contract that I've been a part of. I think the fourth that we've talked about severe weather. So we would like for you guys to give that some good thought process. We've had multiple chiefs. We had multiple events under different chiefs that we failed to take care of this problem in what we would consider timely manner. So we would like to see that added in there. And that's all I got for 7.
All right. This is where we're at on 16. And I think you've made your position clear, and I think we've made our position clear that we're not prepared to go to a new model that's greater than oversight. But when you said you were disappointed, I was disappointed that you didn't see any value in what we gave you. We greatly expanded the ability of the OPO to be involved, to have their employees there, to ask questions, to have intake specialists, and to really step up. And we thought, well, that's all the things of which they want, because it's oversight. It's just people can see the transparency, they can have people who are watching on behalf of the public for accountability. And we did all of those things, but you're on a different page that you want to take it out, but have us waive the rights we have under the statute. But you're going to control something we can't see, we don't know what you're going to do, and can change on a weekly basis. And that's not going to work for us. And we made it clear, we think you should have looked at what we gave you and thought, my God, you'll have the most progressive oversight in the state by 100 miles, and we're the top in the nation. Well, that isn't what we want. Well, that's what we want. So I will give you what our position is today. let's just take 16, which was your original position of the city, out of the contract. Now, you can do whatever the law allows you to do. Houston's oversight panel is totally out of the contract. The unions have no say-so, and they can do what the law allows them to do. Fort Worth, it's not in the contract. San Antonio is basically done in the contract, but it's a split of police and civilians looking at, but it's not on the degree of Austin. Take it out. You can have a civilian review board. People do. You can have the monitor. You already have it. It's already in an ordinance. You can pass any ordinance you want. They can do whatever the law allows and the chief allows. And then we don't have to argue, because I don't see where we're going to get to a deal if we present to you as far as I thought we could go. I was very happy our team bent. I have a lot of bargaining teams that don't bend at all. They just don't want to move. But this team is very representative. It's highly educated. And they looked at this and said, we'll rise to those challenges, and let's do it. Let's agree to have oversight and transparency and accountability, and we'll agree to that. But we have to see what the process is. And this, trust us, you know that's not going to happen. So we're okay if you want to bargain over. We bargain over. But your original position was take it out. But it appears that we're not going to get a deal if you've drawn a red line in the sand and said, this is it. It'll be our way or no way as far as taking it out. Well, then I think we've reached a stalemate on that issue. But I think we're moving on other issues. I think we're getting closer to a deal. Actually, we'll be down pretty close. But I don't see how we're going to climb that unless you're willing to look at what we gave you and put it in the contract so our members can see it and the public can see it. Because no one's going to know what you're going to do if we don't address it. It'll just be left up to the council. That's fine. We're okay with that. Just don't ask us to waive things of which we have given us by the state legislature so you can go do something we don't know what you're going to do. So I think we're back to where the city started. Your proposal was take it out. Now, we tried to bargain over it, and I'm not saying you bargain in bad faith. I think you have your positions, you have your reasons, but you've made it clear. I don't see how we can surmount that. Just take it out and go do whatever you want. You don't need us to do that. All right.
Okay. So, need to go on the 7th?
Yeah.
Meet again on the 7th?
Huh?
The
I said-
meeting on the 7th.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not trying to, I think we're making progress. I just don't see where it's going to go when one side has a position of which we can't get to no matter how much we concede. And that's okay. That's your right to have that. I'm not arguing it's not your right to have that position. I'm just saying it'd be no different if we said, here's a number. And if you don't get there, we can't get a deal. And you say, but I can get near it or work with it. Okay.
We're not arguing, we hear your position.
As long as you
Meet again on the
understand, you understand my position.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We hear your position and we agree you've made movement and we tried to make some movement and we're gonna go back and we're
All
gonna
right.
discuss some more and I guess meet on the 7th.
We'll try to get the rest of this stuff cleared out.
All right, give us about 5 minutes to caucus before we make sure we're going to meet on the 7th.
All right. You want us to wait on it? Is it real 5?
Real, maybe less.
Okay, I think we have made it clear on any number of occasions that that is a line in the sand for us. And at this point, we're going to cancel the meetings for December, and we don't intend to come back to the table unless something changes. So we appreciate the effort that you've given, and I'm sorry we've not come to an agreement.
We're not declaring impasse. Now, we'll make it political, and we'll go to the council, and we'll go to the public, because we've solved most of the issues. But you can't demand something and say, it's this way or no way. You did, and if you're declaring impasse, that's your business. But we're not declaring impasse, we're making progress. You propose taking it out. Then you come back and say, well, I want it in, but I only want in what I want in, and I want everything else out. And we can't do that, but all the rest of the issues we're resolved. I think it's petty, and it goes to a problem that you've set a line in the sand, that even though we've agreed with you, you won't accept it unless you get it your way. We've not made any of those. I say there's things we have trouble with, things we don't want to live with, but we're prepared to bargain. So you don't come back. It's your decision to declare impasse, and we'll deal with that, because we haven't. And we think it's chicken, and it's petty, and that's my opinion.
I will just say that I'm disappointed, and I will reiterate something that I've said over and over and over, which is the citizens of this town get a better product when we're under contract. The city is better off when we're under contract. This police department is falling apart right now. And it will continue to fall apart when we fall out of contract. And I feel sorry for our members who feel stuck. Because what you're going to see happen at the Austin Police Department is the folks that are able to retire are going to retire under this contract. And then the folks that, for whatever reason, a multitude of reasons, want to go find employment elsewhere are going to go find employment elsewhere. And a police department that should probably be around 2,000 officers, we're currently sitting close to 1,500, is going to get dangerously small. I recognize that we are today not where y'all need us to be on 16, where y'all feel like we need to be, but it is incredibly frustrating to have a group of very, very diverse officers that represent every nook and cranny of our police department to come together and to give the amount of movement that we were willing to give, that this is where ultimately the manager is. Yeah, disappointing the manager, disappointed in this process. And the moment that he decides that he would like to sit back down at the table, we are open and willing to negotiate. We are better off under contract, and very dangerous things are going to happen to people as a result of us falling out of contract. That is my belief.
I would agree with that. I agree with that. The manager would like to be under contract. We all understand the vacancy rates and the potential of what can happen. We do not believe that we have stopped negotiating, but we're forced into a position where you told us you would not work with us any further on that article under the constructs which we said. We were absolutely moving on subject matter on Article 16. You were moving on subject matter on Article 16. When we expressed to you how we envision it coming out of the contract, and you flat out noted that was the line in the sand. That was not of our creation. We are trying to make something that will work for OPO, for the citizens, for the police officers, protecting the officers' rights while addressing the concerns of the citizenry. We don't want to be out of contract either. However, you know, we kind of are in the same position. If you would like to come back and talk about Article 16, we are always willing to do that. But what we heard today is that you're not willing to look at it in the same way.
We are very open to talking about Article 16. The problem becomes and I said it yesterday, like, we have overcome tremendous obstacles as a team in the past 6 weeks. I mean, it was 6 weeks ago, we were approached and said, hey, we want to talk about expedited arbitration. Like, how can we get a deal done sooner rather than later? And I told you guys at the table, I've told you in private, like, I did not have 20 people on my team who said, yes, Thomas, let's go do this, right? Like, these men and women have moved in a tremendous way and have been on board with making that movement. Some more willing than others, and they know who they are, right? And I appreciate the different perspectives. But when we make such movement, I said this yesterday, when we make such movement, we've been the most progressive in the state, and we were going to be in a model that's not police oversight. Like that, we called it, we continue to call it police oversight, but it's not police oversight, it's police investigation. And we got there. And then to be told, hey, this is not good enough, not enough, like, I struggle to agree that we're not willing to negotiate over 16. Like, all we said today is, you guys don't like it the way that we've written it. Hell, I was called at some point, it might have been at the table, and asked, hey, let's just take this thing out. You guys can sue us, and we'll just let the chips fall where they may. Well, that's a conversation that the former director of LRO had with me. And I said at the table, nobody wins if the moment that we sign a deal, I say, hey, screw you guys, I'm going to go file a lawsuit. So we've tried to do it.
Well, enough said. I'll just remind you, you struck all the language you asked us to come up with. We did it. You struck it all and put it back right where you started. Okay, that's not bargaining. Okay, if I tell you it's 20%, it'll be 20%, or there's no deal, then I've drawn a line. If I can't get there, I can't get there. But I didn't. So it's a political game. We bargained, and we bargained over 16, and we brought tons of changes. You struck them all. Just went through and struck them all, put the language back in, and basically your position is waive 143, and we'll do whatever we want to do. That's your position. We're not willing to do that without the guarantees of seeing what the process is. That's all we're asking for, is you agree to put the process in there so we can see it. You struck all of that. So when we can't get a deal, if everything I bring you, you strike and say, but that's not what I want. Okay, I get it. If you want to leave, leave, and we'll deal with that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.